Work smarter, not harder. You've heard that phrase a million times, right? But what does it really, truly mean? It's not about being lazy, not at all. It's about making sure the work you do put in actually moves the needle. So today, we're going to break down a super simple but really powerful framework to help you get your time and your sanity back.
First up, we got to understand the enemy. And believe it or not, it actually has a name: Parkinson's Law. It's this sneaky, invisible force that takes a task that should take, 2 hours and stretches it to fill an entire 8-hour day, just because you have the time. It's the reason you can feel totally drained at the end of the day, but when you look back, you wonder, what did I actually accomplish?
Okay, check this out. This image is the perfect way to think about it. On the left, you've got a gardener who is definitely working hard. They're going plant by plant with a watering can. It's effective, sure, but man, it's a grind. Now look at the right. That gardener is working smart. They took a little time up front to set up a sprinkler system, and now the work basically does itself. Both gardens get watered, but you know what? Only one of those gardeners gets their afternoon back.
So, the big question is, how do we become the gardener with the sprinkler? Well, it's not about learning 1,000 different productivity hacks. It's way simpler than that. It's about a clear, 3-part framework. Let's walk through it.
Here it is. This is our roadmap for the rest of our chat. 3 words: optimize, automate, and outsource. Each one of these steps builds on the last, creating this amazing system that frees you up to focus on the stuff that really, truly matters. So, let's dive into that first one: optimize.
First things first, optimize. See, before you can automate anything or hand anything off, you have to streamline it. You got to cut through all the noise and figure out what is actually important.
And the guiding light for this whole idea is something called the Pareto principle. It's a funny story. It came from this economist, Vilfredo Pareto, way back in the early 1900s. He noticed that about 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the population. And then he started seeing that same 80-20 split, well, pretty much everywhere he looked. And what's so wild is that this ratio really is everywhere. Maybe it's not a perfect 80-20 every time, but the idea holds up. A small handful of your efforts, the vital few, are creating the vast majority of your results. Think about it in your own life. I bet 20% of your clients generate 80% of your business, or 20% of your clothes are worn 80% of the time. The whole game is just identifying and then doubling down on that critical 20%.
Which of course brings us to the million-dollar question. It's one thing to know the rule, but how do you actually apply it to your insane to-do list? How do you tell the difference between the vital few things and the trivial many? Well, luckily for us, there's a tool for that.
This beautiful thing is the Eisenhower matrix. It's a lifesaver. It makes you categorize every single task you have by asking just 2 questions. Is this urgent? And is this important? So, quadrant 1, do, that's for fires you have to put out. Quadrant 2, schedule, is for your big, important goals. That's your 20% right there. Quadrant 3, delegate, is for things that pop up that someone else can handle. And my personal favorite, quadrant 4, eliminate. All the stuff you should probably just stop doing altogether.
You know what this matrix does so brilliantly is it separates what author Cal Newport calls deep work from shallow work. Your deep work, the stuff that really requires brain power and creates huge value, that lives in quadrants 1 and 2. And all that shallow work, like answering routine emails or logistical stuff, that's quadrants 3 and 4. The whole point of optimizing is to shrink that shallow stuff so you have way more time and energy for the deep stuff.
Okay, so you've optimized. You've used the matrix, you've figured out what's important, you've cut out the junk. Now for pillar number 2, automation. This is where we build our sprinkler system.
Automation is really just a simple idea. You take those repetitive, boring tasks that you still have to do, and you build a system that handles them for you. Every single task you can automate doesn't just save you time, it saves you mental bandwidth, it cuts down on mistakes. It's literally like putting parts of your job on a super efficient autopilot.
And look, automation doesn't have to be some crazy, complicated tech thing. Let's take your email inbox. You're probably deleting the same promotional junk every single day. That's a repetitive task. So you create a simple rule in your email client. If an email has the word unsubscribe in it, automatically move it to a read later folder. Boom, done. You just automated away a daily annoyance. And trust me, those little wins add up incredibly fast.
And of course, today, automation is more powerful than it's ever been. Technology like artificial intelligence is just taking this whole concept to another galaxy. AI can now help you with everything from scheduling your meetings to summarizing long reports, streamlining these super complex workflows that used to take a whole team of people to manage. It is the ultimate set it and forget it tool. All right, so we've optimized our to-do list, we've automated the repetitive stuff. What's left over? There are still going to be necessary tasks that just aren't the best use of your specific time. And that brings us to our final pillar, outsourcing.
Honestly, outsourcing is just a strategic way of saying delegate. Hey, remember quadrant 3 from the Eisenhower matrix? Urgent but not important? This is that quadrant's time to shine. It's all about having the self-awareness to recognize that you don't have to do it all yourself. Getting those tasks completely off your plate is how you stay focused on your high-impact 20%.
Let me give you a really simple example. Let's say you hire a virtual assistant to book your appointments. You remember late at night, oh shoot, I need a dentist appointment. Instead of that thought nagging at you, you just send a quick text or email. And here's the magic. The second you hit send, you are done with it. You stop worrying about it, you stop thinking about it, you definitely stop doing it. You just show up. That is the true power of outsourcing. It frees your mind.
So there you have it. You see how these pieces all click together? It's not just a random collection of tips, it's a real interconnected system. You start by getting crystal clear on what actually matters, and then you build systems around you to handle all the rest.
So let's recap the whole framework one last time. Step 1, optimize. Use that 80-20 rule to find your most important activities. Step 2, automate. Build systems for all the repetitive stuff so it just happens in the background. And step 3, outsource. Delegate what's left to free up your time and, more importantly, your mental energy for the things that only you can do.
And that brings us to the most important point of all, because this is all just interesting theory until you actually apply it. So I'm going to leave you with a direct challenge. Look at your to-do list right now. What is one single, tiny task that you can either eliminate, automate, or delegate today? Just start there. Start small. You'll be amazed at how much time you get back.